Yo, what's going on, guys? Hanging out outdoors here. My name is Dimitri, back again with another video. And in today's video, we're going to be going over possibly the best sight to pair up with your UltraView scope. Are you ready? Let's get into it. Alright guys, so the sight that I'm going to be sharing with you today is the HHA Tetra RYZ. So long story short, guys, the reason why I am bringing you this video today is because I've had this UltraView scope for a very long time, and trying to find a sight to go along with it was next to impossible. The XL Landslide, which has a dual indicator that would match up greatly with this sight, the Landslide has been basically untouchable, as well as the only other sight that has a dual indicator like this is a Spot Hog Fast Eddy. What I didn't like about those sights is that you had to get a specific bar required to run those. The Spot Hogs were pretty expensive and they're heavy. So I've just been looking all over the place trying to find a sight. Even the XL AccuTouches, the ones that came out before the Landslide, very hard to find. And then HHA just released these. This is the HHA Tetra RYZ. This one's actually the Tournament Edition, and what makes the RYZ special is that the HHA Tetra RYZ is a double pin, is a single but stacked for a double pin, as you can see here, dual pin technology. They have the standard 1/4 inch spacing, which is exactly what you need to run the UltraView scope. And not only that, but you can buy these. This one right here is the 900 frame. It comes with just the frame for $219, so you're saving a bunch of money rather than spending like $380, I think it was, to buy the sight. And then you have to get it along with this, which is the HHA accessory scope adapter. This one is for this specific UltraView scope. It's compatible with it. And then I also got it in the Tournament Edition with the bar because for my next bow, which I plan to get this year, when Matthews drops their new bows, I'm going to be buying it. So if you guys are interested in a build for that, stay tuned. I have a pretty sick build coming up with that bow when it launches. Yeah, the Tetra is also compatible with the Matthews Bridge Lock, which I really like. Literally just a whole complicated process to find this, but this is what I settled with. 2 pins, HHA Tetra Tournament Edition 900 frame with this. So what we're going to do now is we're going to get it out of the box and we're going to set it up, and then we're going to install it on the bow and show you how to level everything. So without further ado, let's get into it. Alright guys, so first things first, I'm just going to take the adapter right out of the package here. And it's got mass gain adjustments with dimples on it, and then it also has a micro adjust with clicks on the side here that adjusts this post out, which is pretty cool. This one looks like it has just a little bit of shipping damage, but oh well, it'll probably receive more on the bow. So yeah, fun fact, I've never actually set up or owned a HHA before. I believe my dad has. He's had a couple, but I've never owned one myself. Get this out of here. We have our sight tapes here, which I'm not too worried about. They have a bunch of them on the back here, but I actually subscribe to Archer's Advantage, which is a software where you can print off your own sight tapes. Then we just have the installation instructions, a bunch of cool stickers which I'll be blasting everywhere. So it comes with mounting hardware as well, the 2 screws to mount the dovetail mount to the bow, and then it actually comes with a little grub screw lock down to lock the bar down in the dovetail block, and that is just so that if you have a quiver that bolts up flush, like the Matthews Low Pro quiver, it'll fit right up on there and you don't have to worry about the knob getting in the way, which is super cool. And then we have the actual sight, which this thing feels super beefy. Not in a bad way. I mean that in the best way possible. Heavy as in it just feels sturdy. Now, I will be doing a separate video in the future going over like a full review, detailed, going over all the little nitty-gritties on this thing, but for right now I'm going to go ahead and keep this video short and install the UltraView on here and show you how to do that, since that is mainly what this video is about. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a 3/32 Allen key, because that's what it uses, and I'm going to go ahead and pop off the cartridge on the back. Not the light kit, but the cartridges that are on the back. That's how you get access to this little mounting square right here. I'm going to go ahead and take that off, and as you can see, it exposes the hole right here, which allows you to get into here. And then on this little hexagonal piece here, there's a screw, which you just take out. It is a 1/8 inch Allen key. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to get it lined up first. So if you think about it, this is how it's going to be facing you. Like so. This is how it would be. So what I'm going to do is line it up like this. And then once it's in there and lined up the correct way, because like I was saying, you're going to be looking at it from this direction. So once it's in that way, then you just plop the little screw through this back piece right here, like so. This goes through there, all the way through. You just use the screw to press and get the sight in between these two grooves on the UltraView scope. And you just hold it, and you give it some juice to get it properly seated. So as you can see there, it's installed pretty tight. There's no gaps on the scope and the block where it mounts up. What I'm actually going to do right now is just loosen this up and just go ahead and automatically push this out a little bit, like so, just because this is the XL scope, so it's going to need a little bit more windage adjustment out that way. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to reinstall my hunting cartridge on the back here, which is super simple. It just goes on here, 3/32 Allen key. That looks sick. And now what we're going to do is we are going to loosen up these two screws. Now on previous sites, I'm pretty sure that these two screws would be the same adjustment as your second axis, and what they did was they changed it on this version, and now these two screws install the sight on the rail, and then these two in here are what adjust your second axis, which is pretty cool. So we just loosen these up, and then it will loosen this rail up on the back, and then we'll be able to slide it onto the actual sight rail right here. So we have the sight rail, and we have our little like T-notched nut here. We just take this, and it's not fucking focusing. So now we just take this and the little rail here, and you join them together, and then it just slides on like so. And now what I'm going to do to get the maximum adjustment out of my sight is I'm just going to automatically set it pretty low in the sight housing here, and that will allow me to have more adjustment in my actual sight tape and get more yardage on my sight tape by having it lower on the sight housing. So I'm just going to line it up basically with one of these lines, but keep it closer to the bottom, probably like right there. And then just tighten those two screws down, and you should be good to go. Alright guys, so I have the sight all set up here with the UltraView scope on there. I have this little rail here ready to go to get set up on my bow. So what I'm going to do now is just go grab my bow, and then I'm going to take the old sight off and go from there. So I just want to quickly mention a couple things. You are going to need some tools to get your bow sight set up and installed properly. You're going to need a leveling tool for your actual bow, so this will clamp onto the string. It'll get your bow perfectly level. This one right here is an HTM. I got this on Lancaster. There is a company that makes some cheap plastic ones that you can go ahead and get your bow set up no problem with. You're also going to need a sight leveling tool. This right here is a Hamskea Easy Third Axis leveling tool. I believe this is the first gen, and it clamps onto one of the rails on the sights, and it just makes it super easy to get your first, second, and third axis set in. And then the final tool that you're going to need, guys, if it wasn't obvious, is a bow vise. This right here is a Baker Archery Products. It's just one of the most solid bow vices on the market. So I'm going to just set up my little leveling tool on my string here. Alright guys, so with this vise, it's actually really easy to get the bow level. All you have to set is the forward and back level by hand with this right here, which isn't too bad if you tighten it just enough so that there's slow adjustments and you can really control it. It makes it really easy to set that. And then it actually has a little knob here that you can turn that will micro adjust your left and right, which is the most important in this case. So I got my bow set up here. It is as dead nuts level as it can be, and now I'm going to go ahead and take off my sight. Alright guys, so I have my sight block here. I'm going to go ahead and take off the little installation screw here that locks down the dovetail. I'm going to take that off just to make it easier. I have my hardware that it came with right here, and then I'm also going to use a little bow wax. Now what I'm going to do is just apply a little bit of bow wax to the threads here right on the end, and what that's going to do is it's going to make it so that the threads go in nice and easy, and then I can apply a decent amount of torque on these things. It just lubricates the threads just a little. Just thread these guys in. Now this isn't necessary if you have the new Matthews with the bridge lock system. You just slide the dovetail directly in to the actual bow. I'm almost 100% positive that the new bow that their Matthews will be coming out with this year will also have the bridge lock, and this HHA is compatible with it. So super excited. I will be able to just throw this on to the next bow. Now I'm going to go ahead and get my sight, slide in the Tetra like so, and now this is where I can pick which adjustment dot that I want it on. And basically the way that I'm going to do that is I'm going to pull back my bow, look through my peep sight, and just see which one lines up the best. I feel like with this sight housing and the way everything is, right there is probably going to be my best bet. Alright guys, so looking at my sight, the level on my leveling tool on my string reads absolutely dead nuts level, and this level is buried all the way to the left. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to move and loosen up the second axis adjustment screws, loosen the top one up, and then loosen the bottom one up a little bit more than the top one, because I believe it pivots on that one, yeah. And so now I can just slowly adjust it. So right there is pretty dead nuts, and as you can see, as I move up and down, the bubble stays in the middle. So just goes to show that's what your first axis is adjusting the sight rail, so that as you move it, it moves up and down completely vertically. But as you can see, with the Matthews rail adjustment and the second axis adjustment, there is no need. That thing stays dead nuts in the center of the level as you roll up and down the wheel. So that is perfect. Alright guys, so that is setting up the second axis. Now for the third axis, you would take the Hamskea third axis leveling tool and you would put it on the rail of the third axis tool, and then it comes with this little pin that screws down into here. And what that pin does is it gives you 2 reference points to line up against a level line, or like door jamb, for example. And what that allows you to do then is to use these 2 points, and then if you notice that at full draw, when your bow's drawn back, if you're lined up these 2 lines with the vertical line on the wall, when you're angled down, and you notice that your level is off, then you adjust it. And you can also do it by shooting in your third axis, which is, depending on which way the arrow deviates, you adjust until you hit square when you're looking all the way down or all the way up. That is basically the only other way to adjust that. For right now, I can't do that on camera because I am filming solo tonight. But if you guys do want to know how to do that, or are curious about third axis leveling and how to do it, let us know in the comment section below, and like this video, and that will let us know that you want to see more of that, and we'll make a video on it. So with that being said, now basically is just time to go outside, take a few shots with it, see where I'm impacting, and adjusting the third axis, because I can't do that on camera. Yeah, just sight in my bow now, and then if you guys are interested, I can show you and run you through that little Archer's Advantage sight tape making machine where you can print off your own sight tape. It's a pretty cool system, so if you guys are interested in that, let me know. I'm going to go ahead, get to work, get my third axis set, and go outside and shoot a little bit. If you guys want to get entered in to win our giveaway, make sure that you subscribe and then go check our Patreon, because that is how you get entered to win. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll catch you on the next one. Ciao, guys.